Welcome back. I'm SHAQ and we got ourselves another video. Sarah Garvey got into an argument with a feminist on a Just Pearly Things show. This is a flashback, so it happened before, but I never seen it, and I'm willing to guess you never seen it, so we gonna watch it. But hold up, you just clicking this video, I need you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And in the comment section, you have to give me a thumbs up or a heart. Just to let me know that it's real. But let's waste no more time. Let's roll the clip.
Oh, you ain't know what that was? Oh, that doo-doo, man.
Regardless, these things were removed from the DSM-5.
Yeah.
Being transgender. Gender dysphoria is still in there, I believe.
Right.
And they're working on the DSM-6, I believe. If not, it's already out. Mm-hmm. But it's difficult to pinpoint that as a mental illness, only because this is a whole... this is something that someone's willing to change their entire life for.
Like, what? What?
I can change my entire life to be 17.
Yeah, that sounds crazy what you just said. I could change my entire life to be a different race. I could change my entire life to be a lot of things. There's a boy a long time ago who he messed up his entire life with the internet trying to be a Dragon Ball Z character.
And I believe I can be a Super Saiyan. My name is Jalen, and I am a Super Saiyan.
Okay, bud, let's take about 20% off her over there, eh?
That was wild what you just said.
I mean, shit, you
Listen,
could try.
Rachel,
You could try.
Hang on, Rachel Dolezal changed her entire life to be black.
Oh my gosh. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Right? She was head of the NAACP. And she was a white woman.
Yeah.
So just because she identifies or thought of herself as black doesn't mean that she is.
But that doesn't make these people any less human. I think that's what I'm trying to...
We're not.
Ain't nobody said that. Where did you even get that from? How's that always a thing that happens? How do you always bring up they just trying to be human? No, you're not. You're trying to get me to tell you you're something you're not. That's not you trying to be human. That's like a dwarf trying to make you say that he's tall. He's looking up at you and everything like, you gonna say that I'm tall. Say it.
No, but we're not talking. That's what I'm saying. You're talking from an emotional standpoint. I never said trans people or whoever you are less human. They are human beings. They deserve their rights as a human being.
It sounds
but it doesn't mean that what they're saying.
Even respect their identity is the issue. So if a trans person
What do you mean respect their identity?
If somebody were to come to you right now, they were trans. They once were she and became he, and you knew this. Would you refer to them as what they are comfortable with or what they were originally born as?
I would refer to them as who they are, which is a man or a woman biologically, because what you're asking me to do essentially.
So then that's just disrespectful.
No, it's not
that's
disrespectful.
Blatant disregard.
No, I tell you what's disrespectful. What's disrespectful for me is to ask me to buy into your delusion. That's what I think is disrespectful. If I come up to you and say, listen, I know I'm a black man, but please call me Mei Ling because I'm now a Chinese woman, you're going to be like, all right, you're a Chinese. I'm a Chinese woman, really? And you've met me and you know me prior to me identifying as a Chinese woman. You're now going to call me Mei Ling. I'm now asking you to buy into my delusion. If I feel like this, that's 100% cool. But I shouldn't ask you to buy into what I think of myself. Because like I said, you think of yourself as a 11 out of 10.
That's hilarious.
Right? If you went around asking people to call you an 11 out of 10, then that's just plain arrogant and egotistical. Because you're asking people. I
wouldn't do that though.
Right, but
don't worry, I would. You know why? Because I'm a man dime.
Slay.
Don't pay me no attention. I just had to say that because I have problems.
but trans people do.
All I ask is basic respect.
No,
and
but
basic
trans
respect
people do. They ask people to call them the thing that they know that they actually aren't.
It's
or,
not
or the
that,
way they see themselves.
It's genuinely not that hard to just refer to them as she, her, or he, him as they ask, and by the name that they choose to go by. It's genuinely not that hard.
That's too damn bad!
My name is Francesca, right? But I go by Cheska. That is my preferred name.
Yeah.
All I have to do is tell you, hey, this is what I prefer to be called. Feel free to call me this.
Right.
And it would be up to you to call me Cheska. I would, like I said, I would prefer it. If you call me Francesca, I'm not going to respond because realistically, I don't like that name as much as Cheska. It's that simple.
Shooting in your name.
That sounds wild that you just keep changing the discussion. First, you were saying that a person's treating them like they're not human. You left that. You jumped off of that already now and just say it's not hard to do this thing. How are you going to tell me what's hard for me to do? You think it's easy for me to act like reality ain't reality? You think it's easy for me to pretend that this person who clearly can't do the things I can do it? You think it's easy to pretend that what's on your head is what your hair really looks like? It's pretty difficult, my dear. I am so confused by her logic. But then again, she don't have logic because she's a feminist.
It's a respect thing. It's not.
Shooting in your name, is not the same as asking me to call you by a totally different gender.
Okay, so
there's no part of you that is that gender.
If they preferred a different name, even you wouldn't go with that.
If they preferred it, like I said, I'm not about to.
If they went with a different name,
I am not buying into someone's delusion.
Yes or no?
Daddy, chill.
Say again.
It's really not that hard of a question.
If they asked me to call them a name.
If I came to you and I said I prefer the name Richard, even though I clearly am not biologically male,
I'll be like, what do your parents call you?
Okay,
what did your parents name you?
You're not my parents, so you wouldn't have a right to call me by whatever. You wouldn't have the right to call you. You wouldn't have the right to call me by whatever my parents call me because my parents are different from you. You're just a 40-year-old man, okay? You're just a stranger that I see on the podcast.
Do not touch me now.
That's true. Keep your hands to yourself. And second thing, I do have the right to call you what I want. You didn't know about that. Like, that's crazy. You said that. Like, freedom of speech ain't the thing. I have the right to call you whatever I want. I can literally call you Majin Buu. I can actually, in real life, call you a out of shape Bruce Willis. I have the right. And this is crazy to know. And this is going to blow your mind. I actually have the right to call you a wide back, out of shape, black version Jerry Springer, who happens to be a woman.
My nigga.
I do have that right. Can't even go to jail for it.
I think, again, like, because I'm part of the community, I have more insight on how they feel about it. Yeah. And I can go off of that better as opposed to the
But like I said,
opposite.
this isn't how you feel.
I'm not done talking.
I know you're not, but I'm just letting you know.
I don't want to hear you right now. When I'm done speaking, when I'm done speaking, listen.
Why are you talking about feelings? We're talking about facts.
So you're
gonna have to stop him before I do.
He's
what
just
you
asking
do?
you a question. I don't think he's.
What you gonna
there's
do?
no. Listen. What are you trying to do?
Nothing. I'm just asking the question.
No. You did. You did the threat here. How you act like he did something wrong? I would have did it too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would have honestly said it, but I'm perfectly fine with getting aggressive with you before it actually got a hand. I'm perfectly fine with pushing the hard line. Like, as soon as you had said that, I was like, what are you gonna do? What the f you think you gonna do?
Let it out.
Like, I am perfectly fine with doing that to you. I guess you got uncomfortable. You're getting uncomfortable because he's pressing you now. You did it to yourself.
Like, whatever.
I just don't.
Right here, just keep popping in like a weasel. Like,
you just don't like being cut off by a man. That's what it is.
Like, it is so irritating.
You don't like being cut off by a man.
No, because you keep on saying like, oh, facts over feelings. Like, no, like, at least when Pearl is interrupting me, she's saying like, oh wait, but like, this is what I see. This is what I know. So you're just saying no, facts over feelings.
What if he puts butt facts over feelings?
Yeah. What if I say butt facts over feelings? Yeah. What about if I do that?
Then he could get slapped.
Do you know what I'm saying?
What? Who the f you think you talking to?
Like,
really?
To me, like, I don't think what he's trying to say is like their feelings about it don't really matter.
She ain't gonna slap
like,
me.
It's all about like.
But if we functioned off of only logic and reality, we would be a heartless society. You can find a balance between emotion and logic.
Yeah.
You can find a common ground. I fully understand.
No, but not on certain things.
Anyway.
Whoa.
We can find a balance between emotion and logic. I do believe that there are times where we have too much logic and too much emotion.
Right. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think that was too much emotion or too much logic? Which one?
I think it was me telling you to shut the up because you don't know how to sometimes. Triggered. But anyway, I said what I said.
All right, no, I heard you. I heard you.
Need to go hand in hand in times like.
Don't bring alcohol over here next to that person. Sweet Jesus, what's happening here? I'm not gonna lie, Sarah, you're doing a great job, my brother. Big screen, by the way. You're doing a great job, my brother. All those threats and all those loud sounds, stuff like that, I would became who I really am. This one just get disrespectful. And then you better keep your hands to yourself because I have a taser on me, taser and mace, and you're going to feel both of them if you do something. Hey! And after that, I'm going to call the authorities. She put her hands on me. Why is she on the ground, her body wet? She peed on herself. Tasing people can do things like that to you. And that snot all on the ground because I maced her. You gonna pick her up and I want to press charges.
Like this. When there's too much emotion involved, people can genuinely get hurt.
But that's one of the problems I'm talking about. We're not talking about disregarding people. Mm-hmm. But that's not what
no, I didn't say that.
But the fact that people actually think that speaking things that make sense is disregarding people is where we have a problem in the society. Because if somebody is speaking to make sense and you take it as, oh, you're disregarding me. No, like I said, I think these people, trans people, deserve their human rights. I don't think of them as less as a human being. I'm saying when it comes to things like you coming in your and when it comes, don't speak. When it comes to you going into a sports arena that is not actually meant for you and it's meant for biological women, then we see real world consequences to your feelings and people catering to people's feelings. That's what I'm saying.
Big screen. Jessica, you have problems. I don't think she's gonna fix them either. You know who would fix your problems? Some random person walking around who's all right with laying hands on people. It's probably gonna be some lady. Like what she was doing, stay away from the South. Stay away from the South angry women. You know, the ones who be like this, girl, get on with that. The ones who say stuff like, get on with that, or like, child, please. Those, you ain't finna just yell and they ain't finna just react. You ain't finna say that somebody gonna get smacked and they ain't finna react. Zara did a great job to me. He did a great job because, I would have had to say something to you. Hey, yo, you ain't finna disrespect me right now in front of people. You ain't finna do that. Say you eating by ourselves, you ain't gonna disrespect me. If we was alone, I will walk away. That ain't gonna matter. You doing it in front of people? Now you gonna try to make them think it's all right to do it? Nope. Head between the washer and dryer. I learned a long time not to argue with a person that used the word cisgendered or the phrase treat them as a human. I don't argue with them. I just keep my pepper spray and my taser for them. I think we all should.
Oh, you ain't know what that was? Oh, that's doo-doo, baby.